Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. We're going to get started right off the bat with our first two community songs. But first, I want to take a moment to thank Kate Stewart for our lovely flowers this morning. Thank you so much, beloved Kate. All right, here we go. Lift your voice right where you are. Let's fill this universe with song. Here we go.
Come on, everybody. Climb aboard the love train. 1, 2, 3, go. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train. Love train, people all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. Well, the next stop we make will be England. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Don't you know that it's time to get on board? This train, keep on riding, riding on through. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. All of you brothers over in Africa, tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Please don't miss this train at the station, 'cause if you miss it, I feel sorry, sorry for you. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join hands. Sometimes I'm right, I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. The butcher, the baker, the drummer, and then makes no difference what group I'm in. I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah.
There is a blue one who can accept the green one, for living with the fat one, trying to be a skinny one. Different strokes for different folks. So on and so on, and Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Ooh, cha-cha.
We got to live together. I am no better, and neither are you. We are the same, whatever we do. You love me, you hate me, you know me, and then you can't figure out the bag I'm in. I am everyday people. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is a long hair that doesn't like the short hair, for he is such a rich one that will not help the poor one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on, and Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Ooh, sha-sha.
We got to live together.
There is a yellow one that won't accept the black, one that won't accept the red, one that won't accept the white one. Different strokes for different folks, so on and so on, and Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Ooh, sha-sha.
I am everyday people.
Welcome back. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom this morning. I want to particularly welcome any of our first-time guests and our regulars. I am Reverend Rafe Ellis, and I am so honored and privileged to be the senior minister here at Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. And so let me take a moment to educate our guests and remind us regulars of who we are. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the very diversity of creation. We strive to live authentic spiritual lives through a practical application of the teachings of science of mind. We engage in sacred practices that uplift our spirit, deepen our awareness, and ignite our soul's self-expression. We demonstrate active compassion to ourselves, to one another, and the world. And we experience meaningful contribution through giving generously of our time, talents, and treasures. And one of the things that we do here at Sierra Center for Spiritual Living is we intentionally promote our community, so we invite you to do that right now. On whatever social media platform you're using, to grab that link, share it on your page, and make this available to more folks. And so in terms of inclusivity, we demonstrate our commitment to inclusion every Sunday morning through our inclusion candle lighting ritual. And we light these candles to celebrate the unity of all peoples, all faiths, all beings, all life. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the ways of foundational spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for Taoism, honoring the path of ultimate reality, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the middle way and path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the teachings of Jesus as the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought teachings, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of spiritual universal principles of love and law. And we light the 10th candle for absolute inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome and celebrated here. And we light this final candle, honoring the infinity of oneness, as all creation, seen and unseen. And so I invite you, right where you are, to lift your voice, join in as we sing our next community song. Here we go.
The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The grace of God is gracing me and resting in the grace of God. I know that all is well. The joy of God is joy in me and resting in the joy of God. I know that all is well. The love of God is loving me and resting in the love of God. I know that all is well. Breath of God, the breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. That all is well. I know that all is well.
So this is our time of announcements, and I have some exciting news for you. First of all, let's deal with the regular stuff. We're continuing our Tuesday through Saturday morning meditation and prayer time from 8 to 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's available live stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Zoom. The links are right there on your screen in the announcement. So our Tuesday night Actualizing Wholeness group will continue to meet online. We have our upcoming vernal equinox celebration that the practitioners are hosting from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 20th. And that will be a virtual offering through Zoom only. And they will lead a vernal equinox celebration, a visioning session, and then individual prayer will be available for you. We can use the Zoom breakout rooms, and so you will be one-on-one with a practitioner or a minister for prayer in your private space of the Zoom room, and you will be able to pray with as many of the licensed practitioners and ministers who are there and available to pray with you on that evening. So hope you will choose to join us Saturday, March 20th, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Due to the lack of registration, the spiritual economics class has been canceled. And so I will continue to seek out educational opportunities that you're interested in. One of the things that will help that is for you to contact me and let me know what you're interested in. And lastly, in the regular announcements, the 52-week spiritual activism practices as you understand them are canceled because the Wednesday night spiritual activism is changing. We are moving to a soft reopening per the Board of Trustee decision on Thursday evening at our monthly meeting. Now, what that means is that we will begin to gather in person on Wednesday evenings from 5 to 6. And what that will look like is a short meditation time, just to get ourselves centered, and then an open, fun discussion about science of mind, any questions that you have, favorite verses that you want explained more deeply, or really anything that you want to discuss. And we're going to throw a little bit of fun into that. I have this magic wheel. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to put different questions or different quotes that you might have, how to apply our teachings and philosophy to a situation. And then what we'll do is on Wednesday evenings, we'll spin that, and wherever it lands, that's what we'll talk about. And so we will have limited capacity, and so there will be a sign up. We will use an online platform called Sign Up Genius. That will come out in the newsletter later this afternoon. Please look for that. I will probably send a second announcement that is just the information about our soft reopening in person. So look for that in your emails. If you don't, if we don't have your email address on file, please send me an email to Rafe@sierracenter.org so that I can get that information to you. If you absolutely don't even own a computer or do email on your phone, don't even have an email address, then by all means call the office, leave us a message. We'll get back to you just as quickly as we can. 530-274-1018 is the office number. Okay, so that's happening on Wednesday evenings, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We have a limited capacity for Wednesday night of 15 people, and you will need to sign up ahead of time. You will be required to wear a mask the entire time you're here. We won't do any singing, no handshaking, no hugging, but at least we can be in the same space together. So I hope you will consider joining us if that is calling to you. On Sundays, we will have a limited capacity. Same restrictions apply as for Wednesday. We will have a capacity for 15 congregants. We have to allow, we can put 21, but I have to leave some space for myself, the practitioner, the tech team, and people that are going to help run the service. And so for actual people coming to the service, we're allowing 15 seats for the space. Right now, we're not moving quite yet to having the live musicians with us, but we will have music. You'll have the same music here in the room that folks have on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom. And again, at least we will be in the same room together. The other thing that I'm looking at rolling out, and more information will be in the newsletter on this, is spirit walking groups. We've got a ton of beautiful trails and places to walk here in Grass Valley, Nevada City, and Nevada County in general. And so we're going to be putting that together, and there'll be a schedule out each week. We'll probably start off with one or two, and then if it explodes from there and we want to walk more often, we can certainly do that. And it will simply be a time to get together, enjoy spirit in nature, and commune with one another. Again, we will continue to honor the safety protocols to keep one another safe while life continues to unfold in whatever it's doing with this virus. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. But we are going to move forward. So I hope that's good news for some of you. I know some of you are not comfortable coming back yet, and we honor that. And so we're going to continue to live stream. One of the really cool parts is that I finally figured out how to get that nasty 40 megahertz hum out of the live stream itself, so that the live stream and the room sound are both clear and unimpeded by electronic interference. So God is good all the time. Thank you for being with us this morning. So this is our time of inward shift. I invite you to just allow yourself to release any distractions in your immediate space. If you are driving, please do continue to attend to that task. And simply allow yourself to allow the words and the music of the meditation to take you inward. Our practitioner this morning, Reverend Lanny Howard, will bring us out of the meditation with our opening spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer, and then guide us through reading our weekly affirmation. Enjoy. Observe what is going on in your life and know that you are not your experiences. I notice what is going on inside of me. What do I need to do to get to that space where I could be the happiest and the most powerful person in my world? If I have done a lot of work on myself and I understand the principles that what I think and say goes out from me and the universe responds and it comes back, then I observe myself. I watch myself without judgment and without criticism. This seems to be one of the biggest hurdles I have to make. Just look at myself objectively, all the things about me. Just note what they are without making comments. Just observe. As I allow myself the space to go inside and begin to notice what is going on, how I feel, how I react, what I believe, I come from a space where I am much more open. Today, I notice what is going on inside of me.
this moment, I remember and know that there is just one power, one presence, one life, one infinite intelligence that is in, around, and through all that is seeing itself and knowing itself and experiencing itself through all of its creation. And it is goodness itself, love itself, peace itself, harmony itself, beauty, truth, wisdom, wonder, creativity, abundance, all the good words we could ever imagine and more, because it is infinite and present in all of its creation. And so I recognize and know that every person participating in this service today is that infinite presence, individualized. And so I know that we are all capable of that infinite possibility for goodness. And I accept and know that that goodness outpictures today in Reverend Rafe's talk, in the music, and in all of our realization, recognition, and experience of this time together to celebrate this journey of freedom, to celebrate the joy of life itself. So we come together in that recognition and realization and celebrate together again, knowing that it is so good, and knowing that this is already in progress, is happening now. I release it into the law of life itself, knowing that that infinite mind is acting upon it and bringing it into perfect expression. And we affirm this truth together as we say, and so it is. Good morning, everyone. This is Reverend Lanny Howard. I'm your practitioner for today, and we are now going to do our affirmation. So I will speak the affirmation first, and then we will all do it together. So our affirmation is, love acts through me, and the law of love frees us all. Together. Love acts through me, and the law of love frees us all. And so it is. Thank you.
Your burden to the Lord and leave it. Leave them there, leave them there, leave them there. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. And if you trust and doubt, He'll surely bring you out. Take your burdens to the Lord, leave them there. When your body suffers pain, and your health you can't regain, and your soul is almost sinking in despair, Jesus, Lord, the pain you feel, you can't say that you can heal. Take your burden to the Lord, leave it there. Leave them there. Take your burden to the Lord and leave it there. And if you trust and doubt, He will surely bring you out. Take your burdens to the Lord, leave it there. will surely bring you out. Take your burdens to the Lord, leave them there. Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there.
Take a breath with me. So this morning we wrap up our monthly theme of One Journey, Many Paths in the context of our annual global theme, Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And the principle, the timeless wisdom principle that we're working with this month is from our statement of what we believe. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel its indwelling presence. This is a universe of wholeness, allness, oneness. Spirit is a transcendent, perfect wholeness that, in its infinite inclusivity, harmoniously embraces all seeming opposites. And the evolutionary vision principle that we're working with is from our global vision. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with one another. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of awareness, of consciousness, and action. And so this morning, our talk title is Journey to Freedom. And I think it's worth noting that it is a journey and that the only place we're going is to an experience. We're not going to a place. We're not going to a position. We're literally going to an experience of unrestriction. Freedom, by definition, is the lack of restriction. And so what our journey is taking us to is an elimination of restriction, resulting in an experience of freedom. And I would invite you to consider that one of the requisite components of this is that we release any part of our experience as being caused by someone else. Now, I just heard the universal gasp of, what about fill in the blank? Well, what about that? What about those people in this human realm who have hurt us, either emotionally, mentally, verbally, physically, sexually? Isn't it their fault? Didn't they cause my pain? Perhaps in the physical realm, we can say yes. But isn't living in an experience only of the physical realm one of our greatest limitations? See, I think we go back to that first thing that I read. This is a universe of wholeness, allness, oneness. Spirit is a transcendent, perfect wholeness that, listen very carefully, in its infinite inclusivity, harmoniously embraces all seeming opposites. It doesn't say that it's a selective inclusivity that rationalizes excluding some while we include others. Doesn't say that. It doesn't say that it's a chaotic surrender of embrace of all seeming opposites. It says it is a harmonious embrace. And it specifies seeming opposites, which would lead us to at least consider that perhaps this idea of opposites is thought produced. That our experience of opposites is the necessary and predictable experience of our belief in opposites. Well, that's great, Rev. That all sounds really good. And when will you join us here on planet Earth? I hear you. Because I have the same conversation with my humanness every day. Every day. And I think that is probably the greatest seeming opposite that we have to embrace harmoniously. Is that my ego is not in opposition to my spiritual truth. That in the truth of creation, my ego is a divine idea in the mind of God. Because if it were supposed to be some other way, wouldn't it be? Or is the God of our understanding so limited that it was confused when it created humanity? Really? I don't think so. And so perhaps this harmonious embrace of all seeming opposites begins with our individualized journey to freedom. That first we must emancipate ourselves from the idea that our ego somehow separates us from our divinity. That perhaps they truly are simply different sides of the same coin. That they are different expressions of the same physical manifestation that we call me. That you call me, that I call me. Perhaps. I was having a conversation earlier this week with one of our members, and we were talking about the analogy of the ego and the spiritual being dance partners. And that life is literally just this glorious dance, if you will, where we sometimes lose our rhythm. Where sometimes we're so in sync with ourselves, our egoic self, with our spiritual self, that the embrace is so perfect and the hearing of the music is so perfect that there's just this ease and flow, and the dance is poetic and brilliant and moving, and then we lose our rhythm. And we're awkward, and we feel disconnected, and we feel the struggle and the rub. Who's leading? Who's following? And I invite you to hold the image that you're still in that embrace, that the frame, the dance frame, is still perfect, that it is framed by divinity itself, by the idea of creation that is our ego, and that perhaps you simply lean into the awkwardness, lean into the chaos, and whisper in your ego's ear, I'm leading now. Come with me. And allow yourself to surrender into that divine embrace. And watch how effortlessly you lose track. When the spiritual self is leading, there is no resistance when we embrace. It is when we try to pull away that we feel disconnected. Lean in. Lean in through the disconnection, through the idea of limitation. Lean into the wholeness that you are. And watch how effortlessly you begin to move through life. That's your journey of freedom. That is your arrival into journeying as freedom. But first we have to let go of everything that restricts us. Let go of your opinion of other people. Let go of giving credence to other people's opinions of you. Let go of everything in this earthly realm. Yeah, I said that. Enjoy it and then release. Because if every moment is new, let every moment be new. We can't live in the now while chained to the past or begging for the future. Be here. Be now. Doesn't mean we deny our human experience. It means we embrace it. It means we take responsibility for creating it based on what we tell ourselves about it. Now here's the real kicker in this thing called social connection. It requires that I know the truth of me first. Because when I know the truth of me, I automatically know the truth of you. Because if there's only one of us here, what I know about me, I know about every expression of that one. And I don't mean me, the human me. I mean the self with the capital S, the soul that we share, the mind that we share, the harmonious operation of one. And I think that's what Ernest Holmes was trying to get us to see when he invited us to turn away from condition. And too many of us see it as an invitation to put on blinders. I don't think for 1 minute that's what Ernest Holmes meant. And in his writings, he actually articulates that. We do not say that everything is all right when it is not. He says that. But what we do is we recognize that we are each, here comes the R word, we are each 100% responsible for our journey. And I want you to take a moment to reframe responsible from my fault to within me is the divine wisdom and intelligence to respond to every circumstance of my life without restriction, without condemnation, without judgment, to respond in grace and love, to recognize, to think again about everything in this earthly realm, to understand that it is thought being made manifest in form. And we each get to decide how we're going to experience that. We can push back, or we can embrace that we are one with a universe of wholeness. Universe, one verse. Wholeness, allness, oneness, spirit, transcendent, perfect wholeness. That's who we are. That in its infinite inclusivity, in our infinite inclusivity of oneness, we harmoniously embrace all seeming opposites. Let's take this into prayer. And so knowing that this one is perfect love, infinite intelligence, absolute abundance, flowing freely in the harmonious operation of itself. One, no restriction. I must recognize that I am that informed, being made out of it, by it, to be it, so it can experience it. This is who and what I am. And what is true of me is true of all life. Each a divine, glorious, magnificent, exquisitely individualized expression of a desire in the heart of God itself to know itself as its individualized and never separate creation. And so I speak my word, claiming and affirming that every seeming opposite that would impede or restrict our freedom is brought into our awareness, that the awareness and transformation is the journey. That the neutralization of thoughts that no longer serve, that are inaccurate, that are untruth, is the journey. And that freedom Freedom is the experience at which we arrive. Grateful. Oh, so grateful. Grateful to know that life is unfolding, that freedom is available now. And so I choose it. I say yes as I let go and let it be. I release and simply say yes. I invite you to embody, to embrace, to say with me, Amen. Amen. Shalom. Aho. Ashe. And so it is. Let's take another breath as we shift. We shift into our time of sacred giving, our time of circulation. Excuse me. If you have been fed or nurtured by this time together, if it has been meaningful to you, I ask that you contribute to continuing to keep us afloat, to contribute to our expansion, to give to what has spiritually fed you. And you can do that through our website, www.sierracenter.org. You can also do it through the United States Postal Service at Sierra CSL, P.O. Box 2714, Grass Valley, California, 95945. And I really encourage you, move beyond your limited thinking. No gift is too small, and I assure you, no gift is too great. But to participate in the circulation. See how it changes your life. And so let's read our prosperity affirmation together. You'll see it there on the screen. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And so as we move toward closing, I just want to remind you, check out our newsletter. If you're currently not getting our newsletter, it is available to you on Facebook at our Sierra Center page. If you would like to get it in your email box, send me an email, revrafe@sierracenter.org. Let me know. I would like the newsletter, and I will add you to our mailing list. Our information is also on our calendar, on our website, again, www.sierracenter.org. Know, as we close out, that yes, we work together, and I just want you to know, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about that. So there. Let's work together. Here we go. I'll see you on Zoom afterwards.
1, 2, 3, 4. Together we stand, the fire will fall. Come on, people, listen. Get on and work together. Come on, let's work together. Because together we will stand. Everybody is part of the plan. heart's a good place to stand.